Just wanted to take the next few minutes or so to discuss about the freakish weather that's been going on across the United States here in the past, I'd say, week or so. And this weather looks to be sticking around here for a while. So let's take a look at what's happened. So this is what has happened and what is happening now. Last night we had a series of tornadoes strike the Dallas metro area and cause major damage. We don't have ratings on those tornadoes yet, to the best of my knowledge, but some of the photos I have seen of tornado damage in the Dallas area definitely looks to be at least EF3, where probably a couple of those tornadoes could end up being higher. So I'll have to stay tuned for the ratings for that. I do know that as of the latest that I've seen, we have 11 confirmed fatalities in the area. It's unreal to be thinking that this is happening in December. But December tornado outbreaks, although they are uncommon, they've happened in the past, and often when they do happen, they catch people off guard. And this is a good reason on why we had 11 people die in these tornadoes last night in Kansas. So my heart and prayers go out to everybody who's been affected by these tornadoes. And it's been a very interesting severe weather season for sure, because December's had a lot of tornadoes when the rest of the year has been quiet. It's been very weird. Aside from the tornadoes, we've also had widespread heavy rains and flooding across the Midwest and even out in the East too. And that rain is going to be continuing, and I'll be discussing that here in a few slides from now. Discuss what's going to happen with the next storm and some of the flooding we've seen already. There's a massive blizzard going on right now in the New Mexico, Texas area, just to the west of where all these tornadoes are happening. They're dealing with massive amounts of snow, strong winds, blowing snow, zero visibility. It's not going to be a good situation. Hopefully, the people who are in the middle of this potentially historic blizzard will take the necessary precautions. So hopefully we don't have any fatalities out of this blizzard that's happening in a relatively uncommon area. We have ice storms combined with some snow and sleet in Kansas and Oklahoma again. They were battered by a pretty serious ice storm about a month ago, I believe, and now they're experiencing another ice storm. This one's probably not going to be as bad as the first one, but still going to be causing significant inconvenience and power outages, slippery travel, you name it. A large ice storm is possible in the Mississippi Valley. That does include our area, and I'll be discussing about that pretty soon. And there's more heavy rain on the way, which means the flooding situation is only going to get worse, unfortunately. This is an image I found on the internet of one of the tornadoes that were affecting the Dallas area last night. This is a suburb of Dallas called ROWLETT, I believe. ROWLETT, Texas tornado. As you can see, that's a monster right there. That's a wedge. Look at that wedge right there. Causing all kinds of damage. It tore through many communities, including ROWLETT and Garland, killing people in its wake. So, yeah. So that's just one of the images I found. Again, not my image. Found it, I believe this is from Fox News, if I'm not mistaken. So, whenever you see a colorful weather alert map, you know things are not going so well at all. So, we're going to kind of look from left to right on this map. So, out in, towards the west coast, we got some winter weather advisories. Nothing too major going on there. As you get into New Mexico, that red you see, those are your blizzard warnings. It includes eastern New Mexico, northern Texas, and the panhandle of Oklahoma. In this region, they're experiencing a foot or more of snow for many areas, along with winds blowing of I heard wind gusts of like 50 to 60 miles per hour. So this is a really serious situation for that area. Blizzards are of that magnitude are much rarer in that area than compared to some other areas. Winter storm warnings to the south and also to the east, with winter weather advisories going even into the more central part of Texas. And then, as you can see, just to the east of that, we got the flooding issues. There's actually a tornado watch right now. Looks like just to the east of Dallas, the Dallas area. Flash flood warnings in effect in that same area that's experiencing some severe weather. The deeper purples you see in Oklahoma, those are ice storm warnings, where significant ice accumulation is expected. We've got winter storm warnings here in Kansas. This is for the snow and ice that's affecting the area. Heavy snow will be occurring up here towards the east into Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska. We're expecting some significant snow and ice accumulations. The ice storm will be moving from Kansas into Iowa, Illinois, potentially southern Wisconsin. Might be seeing some significant ice accumulation. So as you can see, that winter storm is going to be shifting off closer to our area. And then widespread flood warnings we see all the way from northeast Oklahoma through central Indiana, even into Ohio. This is the area that's been battered by several inches of rain here in the last 24 hours. As you can see, widespread flash flood and flood watches are in effect. That's the deeper greens you see because more rain is on the way. So now that we've kind of touched base on generally what's happening everywhere, now we're going to kind of go locally. So in my Kokoraz rain gauge, I measured 1.57 inches of rain in the past 24 hours for the Pontiac area. The forecasted rainfall amount was around 1 inch for this 24-hour period, so we got more than what was expected, but at the same time, I kind of expected a little bit more, just how the radar trends were going yesterday. Vermilion River is on the rise, and I will talk about that here in just a bit. The next storm to come through will bring rain and freezing rain to the area. The time frame for that will begin late tonight through Monday night, and so late tonight it'll be pretty darn well, not cold, not like real cold, but it will be below freezing. So I'm expecting freezing rain, possibly some sleet tonight, and then as the temperatures very slowly start to warm up into Monday, that sleet will change to all freezing rain, and then it'll change to rain, and that'll be several hours of freezing rain falling, so we could be looking at some significant ice accumulations. On top of that, we're going to be dealing with wind gusts of 45 to possibly as high as 55 miles per hour on Monday, and that could cause some problems. So here we go. So I made this graphic yesterday, and it says crappy weather for days, and that is so true. We have not seen the sun literally for days. The sun is still not out today. It is still overcast, and that sun's probably not going to come out until Tuesday. Anyways, so the deeper purple, which includes north central, northwestern Illinois into northeastern Illinois, north of the Chicago area, that is where there will be freezing rain and sleet for a good length of time. We could be looking at ice accumulations of 1/4 inch or more. Winter storm watches have been posted for all the areas that are in the most of the areas that are in the deeper purple are under a winter storm watch at this time. We've got a lighter purple to the south of that. We're expecting rain and freezing rain primarily, with lighter ice accumulations possible. Still could be significant in some areas, but generally not going to be looking at real heavy ice accumulations, but it just takes a thin coating to make those roads very slippery. So even if you're in the lighter purple areas, you need to be very cautious, and I recommend not traveling Monday morning, late tonight into Monday morning. probably better stay off those roads, especially if we get significant ice accumulation, until those temperatures have a chance to warm up. Now the green, that includes areas, looks like along and south of Interstate 74 in Illinois. We're going to be looking at temperatures probably staying above freezing throughout the whole event. So we're not looking really at ice, we're just looking at rain for those areas. If you live closer to the fringes of where that purple kind of starts, might want to just be a little cautious. You could end up being around freezing and might be experiencing a little bit of ice, but for the most part, if you're in the green, you should be safe from all the ice. So the potential impacts, we're going to be experiencing very slippery road conditions for northern Illinois. Like I said, travel is discouraged through probably about noon on Monday. Probably even longer once you go into more far northern Illinois, where the temperatures will stay below freezing longer. I'd recommend probably not traveling at all until Monday evening, until those temperatures have a chance to melt off some of that ice. So for Pontiac, we're looking at 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. It doesn't sound like much, but that really, once you get like closer to 2/10 of an inch, that's pretty significant. That adds a lot of weight on the power lines and tree branches, and it coats everything that's below freezing outside in a nice coating of ice. And again, higher amounts to the northwest of a 1/4 inch or more. Some areas could even be seeing like a 1/2 inch of ice, which that's insane. And then, like I said, we're going to be having those strong winds. Even if we have like a light to moderate coating of ice, those strong winds are it's going to add stress on those tree branches and power lines, and it could break those power lines and cause some power outages. Power outages are going to probably be widespread for the areas experiencing more than a 1/4 inch of ice, especially with these winds. So be prepared for some power outages tomorrow. And then the ice threat ends Monday afternoon for the Pontiac area as the temperatures warm above freezing. So that freezing rain will change to rain. So my last slide I have for you, this is the Vermilion River at Pontiac. This is the most recent graph image. So the river is on the rise, and it is rising pretty fast. This is due to the rainfall we've experienced over the last 24 hours, about 1.5 inches. So this is, yeah. And with more rain on the way, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of additional rainfall to occur on Monday. So that'll further bring the rises up later in the week, or early in the week, I should say. So actually, the forecast for by noontime was around 8.7 feet, I believe, or 8.9, something like that. So it's running a little bit ahead of the forecast. The latest observation I got on my phone was 9.23 feet. That was at noon. So it is just a little bit of ahead. So this forecast could end up being bumped up a little bit, especially if we end up getting more rain than is forecast. So the forecast crest is 13.9 feet Wednesday afternoon. That is almost right at the 14-foot minor flood stage. So not looking at severe flooding for the Pontiac area, but the low-lying areas along the river, we're going to be experiencing some extensive flooding. That includes Chautauqua Park and Play Park. So the low-lying areas are going to be experiencing some pretty significant flooding. Should the levels end up higher than this, we could be looking at more serious flooding that could affect some low-lying homes. So we have to stay tuned for that. We'll just have to kind of play it by ear. We'll see how long this rise continues now and how much rain we get on Monday, and that'll determine how high this river actually gets. So, all right, thank you for watching this video. I'll provide updates as they occur. Thank you.